How are you doing, math learners? This is your free access math teacher Ash, and welcome to ML with Sir Ash. For today's lesson, we're going to discuss how to plot real numbers in the number line. So if you don't know what are the skills to do this, then check out this video and I will teach you how. But before anything else, hit that subscribe button and notification bell for you to be updated of these cool clear math videos just like this. Hello math learners! Welcome to another session here in Math Learning with Sir Ash. Today, we're going to discuss the most essential learning competency-based lesson for quarter 1 of the grade 7 mathematics, which is all about how to plot real numbers in the number line. Now, as you can see, we have all our real numbers in these given examples, and we also have our number line. The question is, what is a real number? Well, a real number, if we go back to our discussions about different kinds of numbers, the real numbers is an umbrella to different numbers. As we know, the numbers started from the counting numbers, that is 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth, and 0. When you group these numbers, you will have your whole numbers. Now, the counterpart of the whole numbers, the 0 and the counting numbers, is the negative numbers. Now, having negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers, you will have the group of integers. The counterpart of integers is the non-integers. What are those? Those are the fractions, the decimals, and the likes. Now, if you group the non-integers and the integers, you will have your rational numbers. These are numbers that can be stated in the form of two numbers. Basically, the counterpart of the rational numbers are the irrational numbers. Now, when you combine the rational and the irrational numbers, you will have the whole group of real numbers. Now, to make the long story short, those numbers are what we call real numbers. From the counting to the 0, to the whole number, to the integers, to the positive and negative numbers, to the rational numbers, to the decimals, the fractions, and the irrational numbers. They are all real numbers. The question now is, how do we graph or how do we plot these real numbers in our number line? The number line is basically a line with numbers. You will have all your choices whether you will put as much as numbers in your number line, but in our example today, I just made a number line in which the last part is 4 and negative 3 is in the other side. But rest assured that this arrow is always there because if we would consider more numbers, then you can just extend it. Now, in this number line, since we are talking about real numbers, thus considering the irrational numbers, the fractions, and the decimals, I have divided my units into 4 parts. So, as you can see, from 0 to 1, there are 4 small parts that is being divided in order to have at least a bigger or a wider perspective in putting our points. Okay, so let us start. We have 4, 1/2, 3.75, negative 1.25, negative 3, 0, 4/3, negative 1, square root of 8, negative 2 and 1/3, the pi, 2, negative 15 over 6, and square root of 6. Now, let us just first take out the integers, meaning the positive numbers, the 0, and the negative numbers. So, what are those? So, this is the 4, the negative 3, the 0, the negative 1, and the positive 2. Okay, so let's start with 4. 4 is located here, of course, because that is positive. So that is the location of your 4. Now, your dot can or your point can be placed on the number line. But in this case, I just put it above the number line so that you can see, my dear math learners. Okay. So we are done with 4. Now we have negative 3. Negative 3 is in this part. So that is here. So that is your negative 3. Now we have 0. Remember that 0 is neither positive nor negative. Okay, and that is here. Alright. And now, we go with negative 1. Our negative 1 is here, of course, in the negative side. So that is here. And we have our 2 as the last integer, and that is located here. Okay, so at least you already know the location of these points. Okay, so that is 4, 2, 0, negative 1, and negative 3. Okay, now let us start with our decimals. Our decimals here is 3.75, negative 1.25. We have, okay, that's it. So, let's start with the 3.75. 3.75 is bigger than 3 but less than 4. Now, 0.75 is basically 3 parts of 3 to 4. Okay? So, this is 3, right? This is 0.25. So, 3.25, 3.5, and then 3.75. So, your point is located here. So, that is your 3.75. Easy, right? Now, let us go to the next decimal, negative 1.25. So, negative 1.25 is smaller than negative 1, but it is greater than negative 2. So, that is negative 1. This is negative 2. So, negative 1.25 is, 0.25 is 1/4 of the whole unit. So, that is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So, this is the 1. So, this is negative 1.25. Okay, so that is located here. Okay, so that is negative 1.25. It is very easy, my dear math learners. Now, let us go to our fractions. We have here 1/2. We have our 4/3. We have our negative 2 and 1/3. And we have our negative 15/6. Okay, 1/2. Now, if you are dealing with fractions and you need to put it or to plot it in your number line, the best way or my suggestion is to convert it into a decimal point. So, 1/2. What is the decimal value of 1/2? That is 0.5. Okay. So, that is located here because 0.5 is less than 1 but greater than 0. So, that is 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and 1. So, our 1/2 or 0.5 is located here. And that is 1/2. Easy, right? Now, let us go to the next. We have, okay, our first line is already finished. Okay, we have 4/3. 4/3, if you divide 4/3, that is 1 and 1/3. So, if you convert this into a decimal value, that is 1 and 3, and this will never end. Okay? So, since this is greater than 1, but it is less than 1.5 because that is 0.3, right? Okay. So, therefore, it is somewhere 1.3. That is somewhere here. Okay, so this is your 0.5, 1, and then this is 1.5, right? Okay. And this is 1.25. So, since we are dealing with 1.33, so that is basically between this one. Okay. So, this is between 1.25 and 1.5. So, that is 4/3. Quite challenging, but still very easy, my dear math learners. Now, let us go to negative 2 and 1/3. So, negative 2 and 1/3 is still the same as our here because 1/3 is 0.333 and that is repeating and terminating, and negative 2 and 1/3, that would give us negative 2.333. Okay, so since this is negative 2, that is here, and that is greater than negative 2.25, this is the 1, and this is negative 2.5 because this is divided by 4, right? From negative 2 to negative 3. So this is 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and then negative 3. Okay. So where do we put our negative 2.33? That is between negative 2.25 and negative 2.5. So that is somewhere here. Okay, it's in between. And then you put your negative 2 and 1/3. Easy, right? Okay, so we are already finished with our negative 2 and 1/3. Now we go to our, okay, this is already finished too, with our negative 15 over 6. So negative 15 over 6, you divide negative 15 by 6 and you will have 2 and 3 over 6. Okay? So that is negative 2 and 3 over 6. But if you simplify negative 2 and 3 over 6, that will give you negative 2 and 1/2. And remember, 1/2 is equal to 0.5. So that will give you negative 2.5. So basically, where is that located? That is here, negative 2.5. So this is the 1. Okay. And you just put your negative 15 over 6 there. Easy, right? Okay, and now we have our symbol pi, and we have negative 8 and negative 6. Now, let's go here first, pi. Remember in the lesson about circles, pi is introduced. And the pi is approximately equal to 3.1416 or basically 3.14, right? So that is bigger than 3 but less than 4. But it is also less than 3.25. Okay. So where is that located? That 3.14. So if this is your 3, this is your 3.25. Okay? So your 3.14 is between the 3 and the 3.25. So that is here. Alright. And that will be your location for the pi. Easy, right? Now, let us go to our irrational numbers. We have we have square root of 8 and square root of 6. Okay. For square root of 8, remember my last video, which is all about the square root of any number. One of the techniques there is very simple. You get the two perfect squares where the square root of 8 is in between, and that is square root of 4 and square root of 9. Then the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 9 is 3. The technique here is you get the difference. So the difference between 4 to 8, that is 4. The difference between 8 to 9, that is 1. Therefore, it is near the square root of 9. So what you will do is you get the square root 3 minus double your 3, that is 6. And then you get the difference 1. So that is 3 minus 1, 6. So by doing so, that is 3 minus 1 over 6 is equal to, okay, so that is 1, that is 6, 4, the index is 0, 40 divided by 6, that is 6, 36, and then this will just, okay, it will never stop, so that is basically 0.167, okay, and then if you subtract this, the approximate value is 2.833. Okay. So, the value of square root of 8 in decimal is approximately 2.83. So, that is bigger than 2.75 but less than 3. So, remember this is your 2.25, 2.5, and here is your 2.75. And 2.83 is bigger but less than 3. So, therefore, it is in the middle between here. So, you could just put your square root of 8 here. Easy, right? Now, for our last number, we have square root of 6. The same concept. So, what we'll do is square root of 6. That is in between square root of 9 and square root of 4. So, we have square root, So, we have the square root of 4, that is 2. The square root of 9, that is 3. Now, we get the difference. That is 2. The difference here is 3. So, therefore, this is nearer to square root of 4. So, what we do is we get the 2. Then, we add. We get the double of 2. That is 4. And that is 2 here. So, basically, that is 2.5. Because that is 2 plus 1/2. Right? So, that is basically here. But this is an approximation. Now, for sure, in the calculator, you will have 2.45 or 2.44 something. Okay? But this is just a simple technique for you to get the approximation, and somehow it is near 2.5. But it is quite not there yet. That is 2.45, okay? In the calculator. So, if that is 2.45 or 2.5, that is between here, right? So, that is 2.5 here. And since in the calculator that is approximately 2.45, so if this is your 2.25, this is your 2.5. 2.45 is somewhere in the near of 2.5. Okay, and that will be the value of your square root of 6. Okay, so this is how you plot your points in the number line. Again, let me remind you that these points are normally placed on the number line itself. So that 4 will be there, that, okay, so on and so forth. That 0 will be here, okay. But for this math tutorial purposes, for you to see it clearly, I have placed it above those numbers, okay. And this is the time that I will challenge you whether you have understood our topic for today, and here it is. Okay, math learners, I hope you have a wonderful time about our discussion for today's lesson. If you do have any questions about plotting numbers in the number line, do not hesitate to put your inquiries in your comment section below. Now, I hope also that you could give me some math problems, especially those students who are answering their modules difficultly, so that I could also help you in your endeavors. This is still your free access math teacher Ash, and always remember, it is fun to learn mathematics if we are together learning. Thank you so much, God bless, and keep safe always. Congratulations, math learners, for arriving to this part of the video. If you think that this video have helped you, click that like button. And if you think that this channel can change the way you see mathematics, do not forget to click that subscribe button and notification bell. Thank you.